When you think of future Formula One World Championship contenders, two drivers come to mind. Max Verstappen, the young Dutch driver from Red Bull Racing, who won the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix and became the youngest Formula One winner of all time, just 18.5 years old. And headed up at Scuderia Ferrari is Charles Leclerc, the young Monegasque driver who's had a big Formula One involvement in his family, who's driving for the Scarlet Red team, and again who impressed in his first season at Alfa Romeo Sauber. Those are the two drivers who are going head to head to win World Championships in the future. They might not be battling as of now. Of course, we have just looked at Sir Lewis Hamilton, or recently knighted Sir Lewis Hamilton, who of course took his 7th World Championship in 2020. But they will be the people to head up in the future. Max is very, very close, or got very close last year with a great third position just behind the two Mercedes drivers of Lewis and Valtteri. Charles in 2019 got very, very close. Could he do this in 2020? Could he be the battle that Max Verstappen needs? Could he join the Dutchman in battling the Mercedes? No, he couldn't. The 2020 Formula One season couldn't have gone any worse for Scuderia Ferrari, and even though Charles Leclerc did the best he could out of that SF1000, beating Sebastian Vettel on many occasions, getting more points and scoring more podiums than him, only 8th place could be scored by Charles Leclerc in that season. He didn't take a race win when, of course, Max Verstappen took an amazing win at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and then earlier on in the season in Silverstone at the 7th-year anniversary Grand Prix. It was a good season for Max Verstappen, which again just elevated him in the Formula One Championship fight for the future, and Red Bull's dominance, or trying to be dominant, as of course they were with Sebastian Vettel over a decade ago. Charles Leclerc and Ferrari seem to be going backwards. So that old question has opened up, Jordan. Every single year we get the question, who is our future world champions? And this time we are bringing Max back in the equation. We are bringing Charles back in the equation. And after 2020, should Charles even be in the equation? But the young Monegasque has so much to give. So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the championship contenders of Max and Charles. Putting them together, who is better, and are they still contenders in 2021? Now, our first video of 2021 came out about Sir Lewis Hamilton and his Mercedes contract negotiations. Was he going to be replaced, and what was going to be happening with him? Primarily, are Mercedes still the powerhouse of going for the World Championship, either with Sir Lewis, with George, or with Valtteri and the constructors, and can anybody beat them? Today we're going to be talking about, can Max do it, can Charles do it, and can they battle each other? So, Jordan, just to kick off this question, you are fans of both of these drivers, two drivers who are in incredibly different but similar and very, very strong teams. Ferrari, over the 70 years, have become one of the most successful Formula One teams of all time, and a massive pedigree. And Red Bull Racing, pretty new, just formed about 13 years ago, before World Championships. Great for them. They're both battling each other. This year has been very disappointing, or last year I should say, has been very disappointing for Ferrari, but they're trying to get back, aren't they? And Charles, of course, 5 years signed at the team, is heading up the helm, of course, alongside Carlos Sainz. So Max and Charles, are they still strong championship contenders for 2021?
I would, as drivers, 100%. I think these two, we have got two of probably, some of the best young talent in Formula One right now. Two of the next generation of drivers. I can't wait to see those two go hammer and tongs for a world championship. I'm so excited. Both of these are very quick, very consistent, and very, very competitive. So I'm looking forward to this. I really, really can't wait. In terms of 2021, now I wanted to kind of go through, I think it's down to, as drivers, yes, but it's all about with the teams that they're at. So let's start with Max Verstappen. Of course, we've got to start with Max Verstappen, the man of the moment. Max has certainly come on leaps and bounds in recent seasons. He really, really has. I mean, of course, he was that young wonder kid in 2015 when he came in with Toro Rosso. 16, like you said there, Lyle, before, he was the youngest ever race winner in Formula One, a record that will never be beaten, by the way, because of the new rules and entry age you've got to be at, or a certain age you've got to have a super license, by the way. So that's an achievement in itself. I think once that occurred, I think the level of Max hype went through the roof, as it did in Holland. Of course it did, because they're so passionate. They're like the Italians are. The Italians are so passionate about their sport or whatever, as are the Dutch. They are just as passionate as we've seen as well when races like Belgium and Austria roll around, and quite frankly, the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, that's going to be incredible when we do get fans in their thousands in grandstands. That's going to be amazing. Max is done so well. However, there was that period of time where at the start of the year he would just be well off the pace, not off the pace, but he would make mistakes. Yeah, the car would let him down on certain occasions. Like in 2017 was a really bad year for that, and then in 2018, so similar things would then occur. But Max would, spin. He would do little things, little mistakes like locks up or whatever, and you're like, that's when people were like, is Max really the real deal? But then in the second half of the season, he would just come alive. The Red Bull car would just all of a sudden be like quicker than the Mercedes, and you're like, okay then. Here we go, Red Bull. They're going to be the ones to challenge Mercedes next season. Come into the following season, they're just nowhere near once again. And as always in pre-season, they go, "Oh, we're going to challenge Mercedes. We're going to be this close from the Mercedes," and they're not. But this season, certainly, they've obviously, yes, they're not as close as to what they are as what they have been, but progress has definitely been made with Max Verstappen 100%. That car is around him. He could have finished second. He should have finished second, in my opinion, down to a couple of unlucky retirements, down to punctures, down to him being, crashed out. I think it was at Mugello, or Portimao, I think it might have been. So, yeah, there was a couple of unlucky things with Max. But certainly he's proven to be certainly one of the championship title contender. Fingers crossed next season with this new Honda engine that they've got promised in coming in for next season as well. Charles Leclerc is in a different position. Charles Leclerc is in a very different position than Max Verstappen because he's at Ferrari. Yeah, Ferrari aren't that good at the moment in time, are they? And no, I can't see them improving for 2021. Maybe a little bit because they've got a brand new engine on the horizon. Is that going to be enough to challenge the Mercedes? No, because the chassis is not that good neither. So, but ultimately, I'm more optimistic about Max Verstappen over the Charles Leclerc at this moment in time. Not as drivers, because of the representing teams that they're at. So, I think Max could definitely 100% be that driver at the very front, challenging the Mercedes. He could well be, anyways. But something that we did mention in the last episode, Lyle, which I'm going to direct to you now. Now, as we said there in the last episode when we were discussing the Mercedes contract with Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, I said to you, Russell, out of all the young drivers, Russell is in the best position to become the next world champion out of the drivers that we've got in the young categories almost. Like Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, because he's going to be in a Mercedes. And then I said to you, the reason is because Verstappen and Charles Leclerc have got uncertain futures surrounding the teams because Honda are pulled out of the sport now with Red Bull. They haven't got an engine beyond 2022. Charles Leclerc's at Ferrari. They can be so inconsistent. It's ridiculous. These two could hinder, their future positions within the team, and they could question should they be there or not. So I think that's going to be certainly interesting. Yeah. So what do you think more about that? About the fact that their representing teams might not be able to deliver them a world championship, or do you generally think that Ferrari and Red Bull can pull out the bag and actually be title contenders with each other for, let's say, 2022, even 2023 for that matter?
Well, I think firstly, going back to the episode that we did, the first video of 2021 that we did, it's something that I said in that, which is that contracts can be broken like toothbrush. I think it should be toothpick. Now that I think about it, I think toothbrush, toothpick. Let us know. What do you like to break more? Anyway, but in that sense, yes, he can. And what I'm thinking of is Charles Leclerc. He's at the team for another 4 years, not 5 years, for another 4 years, as of his original contract that he signed. But it's so easy to get out of a contract. It really, really is. On the other side, Carlos Sainz has only been offered one because they want to see how Carlos does. But it was said, though, that once Carlos Sainz signed from McLaren, he said, I'm actually glad it was a 1 year contract. I mean, he didn't say it's like word for word in front of the press, but it was rumoured that he'd said, people like Zach Brown, Lando Norris in the press, that, he wanted to see how Ferrari did. And if he didn't perform in 1 year, he didn't just want to be a stocking filler, because again, Carlos Sainz, one of the strongest drivers in Formula 1 right now. He can, look at somewhere else. And obviously, Max has got another 2 year contract with the team as well. So even though it signs them to that team, it doesn't mean that they're there for sure. Those are two drivers who want it fast. But when there was talk, I think it was at the end of 2018, going into at the end of 2018, going into 2019, there was a lot of talk about Max Verstappen. Would he leave straight away? And he'd only been at Red Bull for about 2.5 years at this point. He hadn't won a world championship. Was it him basically saying, "I need to go to Mercedes, I need to go to Ferrari to win the world championship"? And I thought, well, no, he's given them a little bit more time to progress because he sees a lot more potential in the team. Same as Charles Leclerc, and same as what we said the last time's video as well. Nobody knows what's around the corner. Ferrari could pull this out of the bag in a very strong way because they have an incredible lineup. Charles Leclerc is a great driver. He really is. They don't know what's around the corner. They really don't. Max is the number one at Red Bull. He is loved. He is adored. He had the monopoly over Pierre Gasly and then Alex Albon and over Sergio Perez. Yes, it will be tight. We love Checo and he is a good driver. But when he goes to that team, Max is obviously number one. That's not because we like him more. People like Checo, and obviously Perez is more experienced in terms of races that he's done. But on the scale of things, Max is the man who is leading the helm. It doesn't matter how experienced Checo is or how much he's adored or whatever. He could be George Russell times 1,000,000,000, but it would still be Max in that team because it is his team. In that way, Max has made Red Bull his team. You look on the other side and you think, has Charles Leclerc made Ferrari his team? When I say this, and again, I don't mean any disrespect to Red Bull Racing. It's called Red Bull. It's not called Max Verstappen Red Bull team, or Max Verstappen Racing, as I should say. I mean this in a positive way, that we found somebody like Sebastian Vettel was, who we can say is our number one. He's our helm. He's our anchor. And Max is happy to say that this is his engine. He is the man at the front, and he knows Red Bull would do everything in their power to give him what he wants, to give him wins, to give him a good car. Yes, he hasn't been given the best car over the times. He got a pole position in Abu Dhabi the first time he got a pole position over a year ago in Brazil 2019. So he's waited over a year to get pole position, and obviously he waited about 4 months to get a race win, obviously between Britain and Abu Dhabi. But is Charles, so Max knows that he's very safe at Red Bull. Does Charles Leclerc know that he is in charge and he has Ferrari 100% of their disposal? The fact is, we don't know that yet, because last year we had Sebastian Vettel, who was a 4-time world champion, who did orchestrate that team when he came in 2015, and Kimi Raikkonen was pretty much happy, and the team were happy to say Kimi Raikkonen's going to step back, and it's all going to be Seb's ball game. I didn't feel like he had the hold of it like he did with Red Bull, but it was Sebastian's team. And through 2017, when Sebastian was at his strongest, and we thought this could go Italy's way in terms of the championship, we knew Sebastian had 100% of that team behind him. Did Charles last year? No, he didn't. Did Sebastian? A little bit more than Charles, but again, still no, because I think Ferrari was still obviously very stuck in that what do we do phase. Obviously, they were falling down the championship, they weren't having a good season. But we head into next year, or this year as I should say, this upcoming Formula 1 season. They've got Carlos in, who I think Carlos knows in himself that he's going to be number 2. I don't feel like he thinks he's going to be number 1. I don't feel like he has that fire as some other drivers do, to battle Charles Leclerc. But I do still think it will be very close. I'm hoping Ferrari do what they've done with Max and give him 100% of that team and say, Charles, you are our only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Help me, Charles Leclerc, you are my only hope. Especially after last year, deliver the best you can. And here's 100% of our team. You go and do it. Ferrari are very much old school, aren't they, Jordan? We've said that before. So Red Bull are easier to adapt. And this is why they've probably implemented Max better in the team. But I feel like Ferrari need to give the car... They need to give 100% of the car to Charles Leclerc. As you said there about the performance of the car, yes, obviously that's a massive factor in terms of winning the World Championship. But I think in terms of staying with the team and saying that this is like my number one team, it's about how much the team has given me. So with Max, I think he's very much safe at Red Bull. I can see Max being at Red Bull for a very long time, championship or not, just because he seems to have the control at Red Bull. This is Max Verstappen's team. And again, I don't mean that in any disrespect to anyone else at Red Bull, and Checo will be obviously cared for and he will have a good car, but Max knows he has that team and he can do whatever he wants with it. Does Charles Leclerc know he has Ferrari at the disposal? We don't know that yet. If he does, then I think Charles will be happy. If not, we could be seeing Charles look for other teams very, very soon. And you never know, he could partner Max Verstappen. But moving on to another question, John, and you started by saying this, and this is a little bit more of the premise of this this video. Instead of talking about Red Bull versus Ferrari, because we all know that, based on 2020's performance, that Red Bull and Ferrari are nowhere near each other. In terms of the drivers, if they were in the same car, who would win?
What a question.
And I know it's a hard question. Is Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, if they were both in the same car, if they were both in the same Red Bull, or both in the same Ferrari... No, let's not say Ferrari for this. Okay, but they're in a neutral car. Let's say they're in the Mercedes cars. Who would win? Who wants it more? Who is the better driver? Who is most likely the one to become world champion in equal cars?
It doesn't matter what I say, I'm going to annoy the fan base of either one of these drivers. Look, I love both these drivers. I said at the very beginning, these two will be at the very top of Formula One in the near future, certainly, along with a variety of other drivers as well. One of those drivers being George Russell. But at this moment in time, at time of recording, by the way, because of the last topic, he's in at Williams. Williams aren't going to be in the championship fight very soon, are they? So, we can't really count in Russell for that, but we can count him in if he goes to Mercedes. But at this moment in time, we're talking about Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Honestly, I couldn't call that. I'm not going to call it, and I want to, because quite frankly, that's me dodging the question, isn't it? Because Max is so quick, isn't he? He's really, really quick, as is Charles Leclerc. And new fans of the sport will be going, well, Max is clearly the fastest driver because he finished third. Charles Leclerc finished, eighth? That's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
But the cars they were driving, they do have a big influence in how they perform in the standings, because if Ferrari had a better car, Charles Leclerc would have, been a lot higher in the standings. However, he didn't have a good car, so therefore he didn't have the best performance, and he finished. He got 2 podiums in the first 4 races. That's not too bad for Charles Leclerc in a car that was an absolute pile of Red Bull. Let's say, let's go for that. And he outdrove that car. He really, really did. He was put off. He was, when Vettel came into the team at Ferrari, he wasn't phased. When Charles Leclerc went to Ferrari, that was a big step in itself. But to be alongside Sebastian Vettel of all drivers, that's a step in itself. A guy who's recovering after 2 defeats to Mercedes on the bounce. So Sebastian Vettel's going for that title. Of course he is. And Ferrari in pre-season looked very, very quick. And we knew Charles Leclerc was quick, but will he deliver after 1 season in Formula One with Alfa Romeo Sauber and straight up to the first team? He did. He delivered. He got 2 wins under his belt. He should have got more wins. 100% should have got more wins in Austria and Bahrain, unfortunately. But he got a pole position in his second race, and drivers like that just settle in and just immediately they just made things work. Max Verstappen did the exact same thing. Apart from he wasn't a pole position, his was a race win in his very first race for Red Bull, round 5 of the 2016 season. By the way, he got a race win. Yes, I know. Both Mercedes did crash out. I know this, but he still had Ricciardo, he still had Raikkonen, and he still had Vettel on his tail. He defended a lot of them, and he did well. He did really, really well, Max Verstappen, that day. And that showcased what a driver he was. He jumped into the team. He wasn't phased. He wasn't under pressure. Bang. Wait, he didn't buckle under the pressure. Sorry. And bang, he won the Grand Prix. I could not call it as to who would be the better driver. That is such a tough. Someone watching this right now, if you're a fan of Verstappen, you could say, well, Verstappen could get it because of this. If you're a Charles Leclerc fan, you would say it because of this. I will give you an answer. I'm really trying to think of who. I really don't know. Based on, I don't know. I'll go for Max Verstappen. I'll say Max Verstappen. But
Max, that's a good choice.
But that's not respecting Charles Leclerc, because Charles Leclerc could beat Max. He really, really could. That is so close, Lyle. But I'm now going to revert the question onto you. But no. Firstly of all, let's take away the fact that you're a Red Bull fan for one moment, all right? Because I know you're a Red Bull fan, so it's going to be easy for you to say Max Verstappen. But take that out of the equation just for a bit. You're a neutral fan. Just keep your shirt on. I was going to say just the team doesn't exist.
Oh.
Keep it on. Keep it on. Otherwise, we'll just lose loads of subscribers. We don't want that. You're a neutral fan. Verstappen or Leclerc in the same car. Who are you going for?
I'm a big Charles Leclerc fan. Definitely, I'm a big Charles Leclerc fan.
That's clear. That's clear to see by what you're wearing.
I know. I would like Charles Leclerc in at Red Bull. To be honest, that's nothing that's been discussed in a very long time. But I mean, just imagine that though, Charles Leclerc at Red Bull racing. That would be incredible. That guys, do you want to see that? I want to see that. And obviously, as I say, he can break his contract. He can easily come to Red Bull if he wants to. Checo's only going to be here for about, say, 2 seasons at the most. Before he leaves, we could definitely get Charles Leclerc in, and also we can send Checo to Ferrari. We're talking about this as Ferrari aren't a good team right now. I think no. To be honest, I do think that Max is the faster driver. Out of those two, I think he's a fast driver, and Charles Leclerc is consistent. He's very strong. He gets the best out of that machinery. Look at the results that he's had this year. I remember the thing that sticks out of me, out of everything, I mean, even over Turkey's incredible double Ferrari podium, it's when he went from 8th to 4th in the British Grand Prix, the first British Grand Prix, and he was ecstatic on the radio. It sticks out like a sore thumb to me, because I just think that's how happy he was to get 4th place in that race, and that's how bad Ferrari were in that race. Sorry, for the entire season, I should say, not just that race, entire season. Ferrari have had a torrent time, but Charles has shone so bright. He's beaten his teammate left, right and centre. 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. Not a simple person does that. Could Max do that in the same Ferrari? No. I think Charles is the only person who could do that. He just got his head down. He was consistent. He was such a strong driver this year. In 2019, he would definitely be in this fight for sure against Max. This year, the car has obviously 100% let him down, because he's an incredible driver. He really is, and nothing would have affected that. Max, a little bit too hot-headed, a little bit inconsistent, but fast. And out of everything that Max has got, it's his racecraft. As John said there, Charles had 3 pole positions. He had 3 pole positions in the race where obviously he went up against Max. That Max won 2 when of course he wasn't on pole position. So he's a good fighter on when it comes down to the Sunday. The Saturday lets him down a little bit. The Sunday, he's very fast. And as I said at the start there, I know we're talking about equal teams, but because we're talking about he's got a 100% hold of Red Bull and, they're his team, I can't see how that won't happen in any other team that he would go to. So I'm going to say Max, but it will be incredibly close. And if we're doing this, I'm going to say that this will be like a Lewis v Nico 2016. This will be very, very close. That'll be down to the wire. It will be such a good battle, but I would absolutely love to see that. But unfortunately, Jordan, as you said there, we're not talking about in the same team. We're talking about Red Bull versus Ferrari. And I don't feel like this is much of a battle, but I'm obviously going to say that Max if this was a 2021 battle, it would be Max at Red Bull, and Charles would be nowhere near. He will beat him in the World Championship standings, and obviously if Max wins a World Championship, that's for another debate. Well, can he beat the Mercedes? That's another debate, but he will beat Charles Leclerc, just because I can't see Ferrari turning around. So the next question to you, last question, is obviously Max is the better driver, has the better car for 2021. We've discussed the driver, let's just discuss the car. And let's just discuss, can Ferrari turn this around for Charles? Not for Carlos. I mean, of course, he will benefit for it, but not for Carlos, and not for the team, and not for the pedigree. Can Ferrari give Charles Leclerc the car that he needs? Even a 2019 car, where obviously he got his wins, such as his brilliant emotional victory in Belgium, and obviously his pole positions, his pole position in the second race at Ferrari in Bahrain. Can they deliver even a 2019 car to Charles? Can they give him a good title chance? Can they give him a chance? A chance. Can Ferrari give Charles, in any way, shape or form, this makes sense, in any way, shape or form, whether that be a championship car, whether that be a midfield car, can they give him a chance?
I think that they can. It's just whether there's many. The reason why, of course, we're doubting ourselves with Ferrari, if you're like a new fan or anything, it's because Ferrari are, of course, they've been in the sport since day dot, since the very first, well, the second actually Formula One race. They didn't enter in the first one because of money reasons, funny enough. But they've been in every single season. So, and they're one of the teams you want to drive for. Of course, they are. They are. Out of all the team, if you ask any racing driver who do you want to drive for, unless you're not contracted to Red Bull, by the way, you would say Ferrari, 100%. And they've got the facilities, they've got the backing, but something in this behind the scenes is not working at Maranello. And that's why Ferrari are in the predicament that they're in right now. Why can't they build a championship winning car? They should be on par with Mercedes. Mercedes are working as a team. Ferrari, for whatever reason, aren't working as a team. Now, it's going to be different for next season, 100%, because for that team to work, they need to prioritize both drivers. They might prioritize Leclerc because yes, he is the young gun. He signed the deal because they want to make him world champion. They want him to be the next world champion of Ferrari. He's Ferrari's golden child. They want everything with Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz is just. They have to fill the seat with somebody. So, but is Carlos Sainz the seat to Mick Schumacher? I think he is. But in saying that, that for me is a worry because Bernard always said that they want Schumacher in that car by 2023. Carlos Sainz has got a 2-year deal, 2021, in 2022. In 2023, that's when Ferrari want Mick Schumacher in. I do hope that they do give Sainz a chance. He's not just filling the seat for young Mick. Carlos Sainz he's a really good driver. He is good. He is quick. He beat a Red Bull and a Ferrari he finished ahead of Charles Leclerc last season. So that's not too bad, is it? In a McLaren against a Ferrari, yeah, the Ferrari wasn't as good, but you know what I mean? It's Charles Leclerc did do really, really well, and Sainz had a bit of inconsistency throughout the course of the season. Still, though, Carlos Sainz beat Charles Leclerc as well. Will he do that in the same Ferrari? Only time will tell. So Ferrari need to focus on both drivers 100%, as well as trying to get back on track, because next season, or this season rather, there is very little changes to the car. They are bringing in a new engine. Is it going to be as beneficial as what everyone else is thinking? I don't think it is. I think they will improve. I don't think it'll be massively. Ferrari, but one thing, I've said this on Twitter as well, Ferrari need to scrap this season, right? They're not going to win the title. They should know this. They shouldn't be trying to chase thin air. Trying to catch sound or whatever. I don't know what the saying is. It's impossible, right? It's impossible, isn't it? And it's not impossible, but it's in fact it is impossible. It is absolutely possible for Ferrari to win this season. So, and count me on that as well. They should spin off this season and look at 2022, right? Because that's a fresh start for everybody else. I'm pretty sure Mercedes will be doing it. I'm certain Red Bull will be doing it. Aston Martin will be doing it. Ferrari should be doing it. If they do have a really good season in 2021, and let's say, for instance, Leclerc is on the podium on a regular basis, and he is doing pretty well, and Ferrari have made some really good leaps and bounds, and let's say they're on par with Red Bull, for example, and everyone will go, okay, Ferrari are looking good for 2022, but they put too much effort in the 2021 car that they're laid back in 2022, and therefore they're back to square one and 6th or 7th there or thereabouts. They do need to bin off this season, and actually for 2022, that's when that should be the big year for Charles Leclerc to actually go on to challenge for a world championship. But this is Ferrari. This is the problem. Ferrari can do it. They very much can. But will they? I don't know. I really don't know. And this is where I kind of asked, well, the previous point I said before, Lyle, was about the fact of, will these two leave the certain teams because, will they give each other, will they give their drivers a race-winning car that can challenge for championships? That's the thing. If they can't, they will look elsewhere because they're not going to stick around at the teams because, I'm number one. They're here to become world champion. If they can't become world champion with Red Bull or Ferrari, they will look elsewhere. And I'm pretty certain teams like Aston Martin, McLaren, or even Mercedes for that matter, will look at Verstappen and Charles Leclerc and go, we definitely want these drivers.
I agree. I think that Red Bull, I mean, obviously Verstappen is obviously going to be seeing what the team's going to be like, especially that this is the final season with Honda. But and obviously the vacation of Aston Martin, we'll see how that does affect the team, because I think it will have a bit of an effect. Where's the Aston Martin team? Yeah, take that out. And then after 2022, we'll just be racing. But I think with Charles Leclerc, Jordan, that's the big one. As I said there, we don't know if they're going to give all the reins to Charles. We don't know if they're going to be making an improvement. It is all up in the air. So just final prediction, yes. Constructor-wise, are Ferrari going to be in that top three again? The traditional three of Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, or can your team McLaren get in there? And yeah, out of the 10 teams, where will Ferrari be?
Is this in 2022?
2021.
2021. I'm going to say fifth. I'm going to say fifth.
That's a good prediction.
One up from 2020, but that midfield is close, so really it could go anywhere. But I'll go with fifth.
It can go anywhere. I'm gonna say they're gonna go to third. I have a big belief on Ferrari. I have a big belief on Charles. I hope that he can get there. I do want Verstappen to win the World Championship. I do want my team to be, back on top. But I pray that there is a big championship fight at some point. Maybe not in 21, but that there will be a championship fight at some point, and that Charles Leclerc at Ferrari can get to the level of Max at some point. And obviously we say that as in, Max is always going to be at the top. He could slip. It's definitely a cat and mouse game, but at the moment,
he could.
Max is the cat and Charles is the mouse. Let's see if they can get on level playing field in the future. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this episode. Let us know your comments below. Are you Team Max? Are you Team Charles? What do you think about Red Bull and Ferrari? Are they going to be close? And just what do you think is going to happen for 2021? Who is the better driver? And let's see everyone go to war in the comment section below. Anyway, guys, we've been the GP Debate Show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have liked what you have seen in this episode, make sure to like this episode, subscribe if you're new, and check out our channel for so much new content under our new rebranded name of the GP Debate Show. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this episode. Stay safe, and until next time, we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.